Hello and welcome into this week's edition of Intercollegiate Conversations, as we're pleased to be joined today by our special guest, Casey Hunt, who is the Senior Associate Director of Athletics at Missouri State. Casey, appreciate the time. I got a lot of questions I want to ask you, so I do just want to dive in. And let's start with the origin story. Tell me how you first got started working in college athletics.
Yeah, so I was a college student athlete and in the sport of women's basketball and ended up going through a NCAA investigation, unfortunately, during my time there that piqued my interest into the world of compliance. And from there, I went on to my graduate degree, which was in sports administration. And then I got my first job in compliance and started my career in the compliance world and have made my way up to my current position where I'm at right now, which is a senior associate AD position, senior women's administrator, and basically do all our internal operations for our department.
I imagine over the course of those years, I mean, you've had some different roles. First, you started as a student athlete, as you said. Now, a long time as an administrator. Have you seen a lot of change in college athletics? And I always preface this by saying I'm not talking about the obvious with name, image, likeness, transfer portal, all that sort of stuff. But in terms of just maybe the day-to-day operations, how things go in the administration side of things for college athletics, have you seen a lot of change over the course of your career?
Oh, absolutely. I always laugh, the NCAA and let's start with the compliance manual, right? When I first started, I think it was like 60 some pages, and now it's like it was, 1.500 pages, and then they deregulate and, they move down. So, yeah, I mean, the environment in athletics, I think, is ever changing. And, that's what the generations, that come through, right? So you got to learn to adapt and in an environment and change, and you want to grow and continue to make things better. And I think that's what we've seen throughout college athletics over the last several years. But in the history of college athletics overall, I think you've seen it grow, and the parity of the student athletes across all the sport programs now, and how that spread out, and the competitiveness. I think you just saw that in the college football playoffs, right? And some of the schools that were in there, and you see that in the basketball realm. But even in our Olympic sports, you're starting to see a lot more competitiveness across the board. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been exciting, and you got to learn to adapt in this environment.
Certainly. As they say, adapt or die. What would be something that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting out? If you could talk to your 21-year-old self coming out of college, what's something you wish you could tell yourself back then when you were first getting going in college athletics?
Yeah, there's quite a few things, but I think the one thing is, you gotta learn to listen, right, and see both sides of the spectrum, and be able to have balance, right. Work-life balance is very important as we move through this environment, and you got to take care of yourself before you take care of others at the end of the day. So that's first and foremost. Number two is communication. You definitely got to have communication in this field, whatever that form is, or whatever works for you and your constituents, right? You got to be able to communicate. So communication is very important in this environment. And then adaptability, right? You got to be able to adapt on the fly and be able to pivot as much as you can. So those would be my three recommendations for a young person trying to get into this business.
You've had a long, successful career. As a female working in what typically is a male-dominated profession, just in terms of college athletics historically, have there been any sort of different challenges that come with just simply the fact of, you're a woman working your way up you throughout the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always have that, right? Title IX implemented, 52 years ago, and uh, we've made great strides in our industry and in the world of athletics that is male dominated, and we continue to still make strides. But I think, you got to be open to the environment that you're working in and embrace what you have and be able to learn and grow from those experiences. And then I got to be an advocate for our women's programs, right, and for our women in the world of athletics itself. So I think the more you mentor females, minorities, all those entities, that's the only opportunity for us to grow in this business and to be able to make headway.
I'll give you the opportunity here. Give me like the 30-second elevator pitch on Missouri State. What makes Missouri State's athletic department's programs unique, special? What helps separate your school and your athletic department compared to, the others in college athletics?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot with a little. We're a bear family. everybody knows that it's the fundamentals that get us to championships. And when you win 10 championships out of 17 sport programs, you're very successful. So we got great coaches that are very invested and very committed to Missouri State and know what we're all about and are very successful in developing our student athletes.
I know you've been at Missouri State for quite some time, so maybe this you could come at this from a different perspective, but we always ask everybody, when you're looking for the right fit in college athletics, what are some of the things you should look for to know it's the right fit? Now, again, you've been there for a long time, but if you were speaking to somebody working in college athletics who's thinking about making a move, what would be some of your pieces of advice of, hey, here's maybe some of the things to look for to know, yep, this is a good fit for you?
Yeah, I always say if Missouri State could benefit me and I could benefit Missouri State, then I'm in the right spot. When one of those two go by the wayside, then you got to make the change. So I think you got to look at what's right for you, right? I think that encompasses, who you're working with, what you're looking for career goal wise, where you want to go in your career. You know, you gotta be able to finagle all of that right at the end of the day, and what's the right fit for you. I think in my position, right, it's not a lot of movement when you're a senior women's administrator, right? You get a job, you kind of die in this job. When you see that across the spectrum, you're going to see a lot of the movement in a lot of the other areas. So I think somebody coming into the business, as long as they get their hands and get a great experience in all the different areas, you're going to find your niche and you're going to know what's right and what's wrong, based on your living situation, your athletic situation, all those things that go into play. It's not just a work environment.
Let me give you a chance now to brag about yourself. What would be some traits that you would highlight that have allowed you to be as successful as you have been throughout the course of your career?
Yeah, I think I'm very hardworking. I think everybody here would say I'm the problem solver. I don't know why I don't have that as my title, to be honest with you, but I go get it. I'm not afraid to go after. I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. And if you're honest with yourself and you're truthful and you have the best interest of the student athletes at heart, along with your coaches, you're going to be very successful in this business.
Let's talk about the hiring side of things, or just in terms of getting jobs. I mean, how important is networking? We ask everybody, and I think we already know the answer, but can you speak to the importance of networking and relationships when it comes to college athletics?
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for my network to get started, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. It is very, very important, and I tell every young coach, every young individual that wants to get into athletics, like you need to network. You need to go to conferences. You need to be on Zoom calls. You need to go to other schools and see how things are done. There's a lot of different things, but networking is probably one of the most important things that you could have, that will help you through this business for various reasons, whether it's just somebody to bounce something off of, help you with a job, whatever it may be. So it is very critical. And once again, I would not be where I'm at if I didn't have the network that I have.
Being a student athlete is not a prereq for working in college athletics, but do you think your time as a collegiate student athlete, did that help prepare you for the roles you've taken on in college athletics since?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my history, my background of being a student athlete, you actually see a different perspective than I think when you're not in that role. So yeah, it's definitely helped me to understand the student athlete and what they're going through today as a student athlete and different things. So yeah, I think it definitely has helped. It definitely has helped from the understanding perspective of what athletics is all about.
When we talk to different people in college athletics, we always ask them about the hiring process and how maybe that's changed over the past a couple of years, maybe in the last decade. What has been your experience in terms of trying to hire people in college athletics? Have you seen some change there, whether it's the amount of candidates, maybe the type of people that are working college athletics? Have you seen a difference in the hiring process lately?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say 10 years ago, right? Everybody wanted a job in athletics. There are some specific positions right now just because of the evolution of athletics and the changes that are going on. We're not seeing as many people apply for specific positions. So there's a lot more headhunting going on that goes back to your personal network, right? Of, hey, who do you have for this job kind of thing? And then obviously pay, right, is critical. And you could see that has changed tremendously through the hiring process and across the board. And you have the same position here that may be paying $10,000, $20,000 more at a different school, and you're like, how is that even possible? So you're going to hit your challenges, but I think once again, you got to seek out the right people for your position and your institution, your athletic department. What does that look like? And that just goes back to your personal connections and what we're looking for.
We always encourage everyone to check out intercollegiate.co. It's the most comprehensive job board in college athletics. How valuable do you think job boards are in college athletics, both for maybe the job seeker, but also for the employers, for the schools to be able to use to try to find some of those next candidates?
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I am so excited about Intercollegiate. Matter of fact, it's helped tremendously. We're in a position right now where I'm trying to find somebody for one of our positions, and it has been very helpful because it gives you all kinds of resources, all kinds of data, all kind of filters that you could look at, whether you're looking at the FCS, FBS, Division One, Two, Three, whatever it is, and you could pull, you could see all different kinds of things. So it's very important, I think, the visibility for your institution also is very imperative. So I have seen a huge increase. I have, I think, 5 positions open right now, 5 or 6. And my application pool probably has been the best that it's been. And I think part of that is the visibility from Intercollegiate, and the Coaching Wire and all those other platforms that we're able to utilize through your venue that has just been fabulous for us. So I am more than excited, and I'm looking to some of the new features that are coming out to be able to utilize through Intercollegiate, which will make things a little bit more fun to utilize and make connections.
Well, we're certainly excited to hear that. Happy to hear that as well. One of the things, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but one of the things we always hear over and over with Intercollegiate is that it's convenient because everything is in one place. Have you found that to be a similar experience for you to be able to have all the data and everything? It's kind of a one-stop shop.
Absolutely. It's been tremendous. I wish I would have known about it a little bit sooner, to be honest with you. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier, and I can go to one place. And once again, all the data and the filter, the visibility, all those things have been very, very helpful to me, especially through this process. As I got 5 positions open, and to be able to do different things and have one location as opposed to go to different platforms. So it's been a great help and a great benefit to us and our athletic department.
Last thing I'll ask you in regards to Intercollegiate is you mentioned, some of the upcoming features and such. Is there something that you are looking forward to, even diving maybe a little bit more into with Intercollegiate and all the tools that might be at your fingertips here moving forward?
Yeah, I'm excited about the message where you could actually direct message, another individual to see if they're interested in the job or make a connection, or even from a networking perspective. Like I think that's a great feature that we're going to be able to reach out to and be able to do that as opposed to finding an email or picking up the phone and doing a cold call to somebody, right? So as the digital platform for everybody right now is at their fingertips. Who does email, right? It's it's kind of give me the messenger, give me the text concept. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to really getting to know Intercollegiate and what we could do with it, and some of the other features that may be coming forward that we may be able to increase and be able to utilize. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and I look forward to using it.
Well, we're certainly excited to partner with you and Missouri State as well. Let's end with this. Put you on the spot here before I let you go. We always end every conversation with this question. The best piece of advice that you've ever been given in your life or career that you feel like you apply, to your job on a weekly or daily basis that might be beneficial for others in college athletics.
Wow, that's a loaded question. Oof. I would say probably there's a lot of advice that you're given, but I would say you got to be respectful, right? You got to respect people's opinions, viewpoints, be open to change. And I think if you could have those 3 qualities and then also be true to yourself, you're going to be successful in this business, and you got to be who you are. So yeah, I would probably say that would be my piece of advice.
A big thank you to this week's guest, Casey Hunt, the Senior Associate Director of Athletics at Missouri State. Appreciate her taking the time out to join us. We also thank you for taking the time out to watch this video and suggest that you follow our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any future conversations or content. Our weekly intercollegiate conversations are released every Monday. We also suggest that you check out intercollegiate.co. It's the most comprehensive job board out there for college athletics. It's also a great community for those that already work in college athletics as well. And you can claim your profile for free today. Intercollegiate.co. Until next time, life is just a series of hellos and goodbyes. So for now, we say goodbye.